I was seeing the devil, and I was hearing voices, very scary voices, telling me to do very bad things. I was convinced they were real, and nobody knew, not the producers, not the actors, or the crew. They had no clue who I was, how I was wired, or that the new guy was in a profound crisis. How could they? I'm an actor after all, right? I can pretend to be anyone, to feel anything. And I'd gotten good at fooling myself since the same darkness had started plaguing me as a kid. So now I was in deep shit. Because I was broke, I needed the money to support my wife, and I couldn't lose this job. My demons had something else in mind. They had their claws in me, and I couldn't fight it because I didn't have the tools to fight. See, I had stopped taking my medication 2 years before because I felt great. I had fooled myself into the biggest lie of all, believing I didn't need lithium anymore. Man, was I wrong. When you have severe bipolar disorder and you don't take your meds, you may end up chasing your wife or worse, threatening to kill her. You might wind up nearly ruining everything you've built for yourself. Just like Sonny, I had tried to hide from what was in front of me. But that's the thing about mirrors. There's no way of escaping. Chapter 1, Cruising. I wasn't always Sonny on General Hospital, and I wasn't always Maurice Benard. I was born in 1963 at Children's Hospital in San Francisco. And back then, my name was Mauricio José Morales. JFK was in the White House. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream to share, and both were igniting the youth to get involved with politics. No one had any inkling that the world would turn upside down later that year with the president's assassination, that Martin Luther King's and Robert F. Kennedy's would soon follow, that Vietnam would dominate TV sets for a decade, or that the Beatles were the next big thing. My dad, Humberto José Morales Sr., was a bakery superintendent at Wonder Bread, and my mom, Martha Mendez Morales, worked in the printing department at a bank. My big brother, Humberto José Morales Jr., 6 years older than me, was named after our father, and everybody called him H.J. My dad always teased that the nurse must have given my mom the wrong baby because my brother was the most beautiful infant in the world and I was born with big, bushy eyebrows and hair coming out of my ears. My mother says that when I was a child, my high-pitched voice and dimples were adorable, but less so was the developing strong will that often clashed with my father's. He grew up in a macho generation and was unaccustomed to showing affection. A tough guy with charisma, he attracted people's notice when he walked into a room. He had strict rules and set a high bar, usually expressing his displeasure, anger with a belt. That's how I learned early on that everything had to be perfect. When I was 3, my mother bought me an expensive little suit. My father told me that I was absolutely not to get it dirty. The thing was, it was a pretty day. I could see all the other neighborhood kids playing and laughing outside. They were sliding on cardboard down the hilly sidewalk to the end of the street, so I wandered out and started playing with them, repeating the thrill ride over and over until the mother started calling the kids in for dinner. However, when I stopped and stood up, I realized the entire backside of my pristine suit was shredded, with gaping holes in the fabric right down to my underwear. I immediately panicked and sat down on the front steps of our house thinking I could somehow just hide it. When my mom saw me sitting there, she came to give me a hug and kiss, but I wouldn't get up. While she didn't immediately understand, she saw how frightened I was and finally got out of me that I was scared.